All right, it looks like we are live. Excellent connection from YouTube. Everything's looking good. Let me know if there's any volume issues because my microphone is flashing and I have no idea why. Okay, so today it's the 16th. Happy Monday, everyone. And I got some pretty rough news to tell you guys. Well, it's not really that bad, but it's a little annoying because it is Monday and I made a little bit of a mistake this morning. So I'm going to tell you about this trade that I made this morning pre-market, and yeah, it's just one of those things where you're just like, that was ridiculous. Um, so let's go over to NK right off the bat. We got 14 minutes till the market opens, so we got plenty of time. NK was, 216 million market cap, 28 million float, so it's pretty nice. US biotech gapping up 30%. Everything is looking really, really good. Big resistance at $4, nice support at $3. Yeah, so like mid twos, $3. And I was thinking, okay, so last week, I haven't traded pre-market in a while. So last week I was like, I'm not going to trade pre-market, but I'm going to watch it all week long and think to myself, where would I trade pre-market? And that's exactly what I did. And I couldn't say for a fact because we didn't actually trade, but I think 100% of my guesses or my trading theses were all right. I was looking at between 8 and 8.15. I was looking for a support line bounce, a big pullback on any sort of morning runner, and all those would have worked out perfectly. Then today, I don't know what I was doing. I had the same concept. Here's a nice morning rally we had, and then we were having that pullback like I was expecting till 8 o'clock. Picture perfect, guys. I mean, like I don't even want to talk about it. How perfect this pullback was actually. The thing was, it was like 7:45, and I was thinking, okay, well, we've already pulled back quite a bit, 22%. This is a really nice pullback. So let me go to my account where I made my trade, and you'll see it right now. I went ahead and entered this trade near the $3 bounce, which was the original breakout area, which I love trading original breakout areas. I find them to be really good bounce areas. We did have a bounce, but it wasn't very strong. I was up about 3% at one point, so it was about $40 profit. And then we had a little pullback here, another failed bounce here, and then we had that big dip. And I was like, what? This is crazy. And then we had that bounce that I was waiting for, a 7% bounce. And I was like, okay, well that there goes my bounce that I would be in and out of already. And then I got out of this trade. I probably could have saved another 5-6% on this trade because this one really ran. This one dipped hard, but it was just really not my trade. So we ended up losing 10% on this trade. This is probably my biggest loss. It's my biggest loss of the month, and it's also my biggest loss, I think, of the last month too. I only had that one really ridiculous loss in October, and that was my fault because I held a stock that was super illiquid overnight. I think like 3 nights in a row. It was before I was doing the small cap challenge, and I was just kind of trying a few different things, getting kind of my feet wet again. But this one was a real honest mistake, and just kind of like, we cut losses and everything. That's fine, and it could have been even worse. But I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm gonna, in the recap video, I'm gonna say a few lessons of what I've learned from this trade. But in a nutshell, let me quickly mention that. Basically, I was right. My thesis was right. 8 o'clock would have been perfect, would have been the turnaround point. I just needed to wait a little bit longer. I got a little bit too early of an entry, and then I got, I had to pay for that. So that was kind of rough. That was very unfortunate. And my entry was actually really nice. I was pretty happy about my original entry. It was just early. I already knew that 8 o'clock was kind of like that pivot point. And I've been seeing this over and over again. So I should have waited. Also, something else about this one that's a little fishy is the fact that it didn't hold its highs very well. So we broke out from here, instantly got rejected. Usually what you would like to see is, maybe a 50% rally. I would say at least 50, gapping up 50% pre-market, and then a pullback like 20 or 30% tops, no more than that. But you're still holding the highs really nicely. And this thing wasn't really holding its highs really nicely. So I should have been even more conservative. Not to mention, Mondays, I'm going to write this down too. Mondays, fresh from the weekend. which means, you know, I'm probably not as clear in my mind. So I should be extra careful because I don't, I would have traded this again. Like I would trade this exact setup probably again tomorrow, right? Because it was a great setup. And the only thing I did wrong was just my entry. My timing was off. This one, yes, like I said, is kind of sketchy because it did sell off so strong, but the timing was the biggest thing. And I think Monday I should be extra careful because, you know, if this was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I probably would have been a bit more in my flow state, and I would have kind of noticed that this thing was selling off very aggressively, and that when the first bounce didn't happen like I wanted to, I would have probably already gotten out of this trade. So yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts on that. Well, it's a very nice way to greet. Have a nice morning greeting. So the chat room's looking good. Yeah, let's go through the rest of the watch list. There's honestly not too much going on so far. So let's just review them all. So we have NK, we have ONVO, and I usually would never put ONVO on my list, and I'll tell you why I did. And it's because it was gapping up nicely. It's kind of doing everything that I talk about, you know, gapping up 50% pre-market, having a pullback here. This was a really strong pullback, about 28-30%. Like I'm not making this stuff up, guys. I just said that in the last stock. You look for a pullback that's over 50%, you gap up over 50%, and a pullback between 20 to 30%, and then you want to enter that around 8 o'clock going long. I mean, that's like textbook perfect. And this bounce was super clean. That was a 23% bounce here from 0.546 area all the way back to 0.67. I mean, this is really solid bounce. I mean, that's exactly what we were looking for. And that's why, you know, I want to start trading pre-market a little bit more. I understand that you got to be really careful with position sizes. But, you know, this would have been a killer trade. We would have, you know, started the day up probably around 15% profit. Just, you know, this time we didn't even pick the wrong one. I just was off my timing. So it's a little brutal. It's kind of like if I entered here, right? Cut my losses here, and then the price, you know, and then it bounced nicely. Yeah, I don't know. What do you say about that? That's just like generally a little stressful. Give this video a like if you guys like that little pre-market, I guess lesson, pre-market recap. And leave a comment. Do you guys think, what do you guys think about trading pre-market? I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say, but pretty interesting stuff for sure. This one, ONVO, bouncing really nicely. Another thing about ONVO and NK, when I ran the morning gap scanner, those were the only two stocks that popped up in my scanner. So that was a little weird. Let's see what's moving now. Yeah, okay, there's a bit more here now. But originally it was only ONVO and it was only NK, the only two stocks that were on this gap scanner. I ran it again around 8 o'clock and then it was populated with all this stuff. So I didn't really have much to pick from this morning, which kind of was nice, but yeah, traded that wrong. Okay. Let's talk about GV very quickly. This is a US construction company. I really like how this one's rolling around $3 right now. Big bounce off the $3 zone. This is looking pretty good. 14% gap up, fairly weak still. So probably a good thing. It means it's not really overextended yet. So 315 is the current price. So right now it's right around here, broke out from this area. So if we can have a pullback back to the $3 maybe pre-market or something like, or opening bell, I think this could be a really good entry. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create an alert here. I think this could be really nice. Also the float 67, I mean the market cap 67 million, float 20 million. They have a big contract winner. But the only thing is there's just not that much activity happening here. So I don't know if we'll trade this one. We have a smaller account size, so you know, you don't always need the biggest volume, but always good to keep that in mind. We have PTI and CEI, both not really having any news, but these are former runners, and you can see that again they're making some heavy news, but the percentage on these things isn't that great. Could look for a bit more percentage gains, because even a perfect trade on this one could only give you maybe like 6% profit here, so a little sketchy. And then CEI, much nicer market cap and shares outstanding, so this one could definitely run a lot harder, and if anything I think we'll be trading CEI. There's good potential for that one. So but off the opening bell, I don't know, I'm probably going to be pretty reserved. I'm going to constantly be checking out GV, CEI, and I don't know, maybe NK or something like that. NK is just selling off very aggressively, and I wouldn't be surprised if it had a bigger pullback in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create an alert here, see if we can have a big dip on this one. One thing I want to point out is look how funny this looks. If you go to the long-term chart, you can see my buy order is way up here. For some reason, I'm not really sure why it's doing that, because really it should be right around here. But yeah, I don't know if that's like a bug or maybe just a glitch or something. Cool, so I'm going to switch my account, so this is going to go away, just so we have that, we have our trade ready to go. We have 3 minutes till the market opens. Love you too, Money Ninja. Always bringing some good positive vibes. Whew. I can't believe we had that big loss on a Monday morning pre-market. Talk about starting the week off right. But it was good. I think, it wasn't good, but we learned something from it, and again, that's just how the next few weeks are. I've already kind of like come to terms with the fact that I'm going to be making little mistakes here and there, and that's just how it is. We're still up really nicely in December. We're still already more profitable than November, so we're getting momentum. It's just like those losses, especially like that one today, is a little upsetting, because we would have been right. If I just did exactly what I said, we would have been right. Or if I went to ONVO, which was looking really nice too. This one, perfect. Just really perfect. So, kind of crazy. Some big volume picking up here. ASRT, I'll go ahead and check that out. ASRT. Nice market cap. Shares outstanding a little bit high, but it looks like we were trading this one not too long ago. ASRT. We're not trading it, but it was on my watch list. High of 156, so it's right around here now. Big resistance at 1.75. Yeah, this should be a pretty interesting one. Interesting pick, Andrew. Pretty nice though, having that nice 30% run up, now pulling back. This could be a pretty nice. I think we'll definitely see some big support. What's the news on this? Definitely, Andrew, let us know what kind of news you're seeing on this. I see some news from the 12s. Yeah, it's holding the 1.4 level. I wouldn't be surprised if it tested the 1.35 again. Maybe even tested this support area here, 1.3. I'm just going to go ahead and put an alert. "13 seconds, guys, till the market opens. Do your Monday stretches. Hit that like button. We got 4 seconds. Here we go. NK totally getting crushed. I didn't check the dilution on NK, but there's got to be some serious dilution going on, as new shares being sold into the market at somewhere in this 3 area. I bet you there's a big dilution exercise price somewhere above the 3. Be really interesting to check that out. You know, if we don't trade the rest of today, that's also totally fine. I mean, after the kind of ridiculous start in the morning, don't want to do any revenge trading or anything like that. ONVO dipping hard. GV close to our entry right now. Ooh, that's quite the aggressive little dip skier. That thing, the spread on this thing is ridiculous. Really got to watch out. This thing has basically no dollar volume. CEI is actually pretty interesting just based on the amount of trading it's seeing. I just personally don't think I could trade CEI any longer. It's kind of been on the scanners for a while now, and no really new news. I don't know. NK, we sold the NK position at 2.63. Right now it's at 2.67. You know, we could have blindly held that one, but that's never something you want to do, because before you know it, you'll be down 50-60%. You're holding a really not fun bag. Big buyers on CEI. I might have been wrong there. It looks like there's more sellers that are excited to see this thing crash. Kind of like how I feel about it personally, but who knows. ASRT getting close to our 1.35 level. Kind of a lot of sellers with that opening bell. Looks good though. I mean, overall, this is a good looking stock. No news though. Let's check here on the 12th. That's really the day it had all the big news. NK is not really moving. It was too busy breaking my heart this morning. This is a little sketchy here. Big selling volume to start off the opening bell. Little buying. I'd be very careful with this one. Not to mention, it's below this big 2.85 kind of support area, which now might act as some major new resistance. So let's see what happens. I kind of like ONVO, to be honest. It's a little bit below our price range that I would want to be trading at, but I like the pullback that it had, finding some support in this area as well. This could be a really nice red to green move. You know, especially if it breaks the 0.6, then it could really run here. I mean, it's got an open field. But this area was really choppy. Who knows? ASRT, here we go. Broke the 1.35. Again, this thing has very light dollar volume. I'd be very careful with it. But, you know, the spread's not too bad. Definitely some potential. Also a lot of selling volume. I kind of like how GV is moving, in all honesty. Again, tiny volume though. Usually we'll be pretty fixated on one or two stocks. Today it's a little weird, you know. Don't really have total confidence in any one of these tickers. Here we go. I really like this way CEI is moving, so I think I might just focus on that a little bit more. Here's a former breakout zone. I like this thing's moving higher. Big buyers coming in here. A little overextended though. I could see this thing coming back up here. Whew, a lot of sellers. Is this thing going to break to new highs? I mean, right now it could be a 5-minute pullback. I don't think I'm going to be touching it, but 230 looks like it's going to break. No, a lot of sellers just came in there. I'd probably be getting out right now after that big sell order just flew through. I don't necessarily see it going past 0.3, but hey, who knows? I would not be trading it though. Might see some big support here in the 13 area. NX, now it's at, or NK, sorry about that. NK is now at 2.59. Man, that one really got us today. Broke above 2.3 for a split second. Whew, wow. CEI is a bit of an emotional roller coaster. I feel like some people are freaking out right now about that one. I don't know how I personally would feel about it. This thing is all over the place. All right, here we go. Breaking to the downside now. This looks like it's a failed breakout. Might find some support in the 2 area. I don't know. I don't think we'll be trading this one unless we see a really nice dip buy potential, which you know how much I like those. If we were going to place an entry, we have 500 shares kind of ready to go, but this would probably need something more like 700 potentially, especially as we keep dipping to the downside on this one. I wouldn't look for an entry until past maybe $2 to see if the high 190s hold. That could be a really nice dip potential. We also had a former breakout here in this 1.92 area. I'm gonna go ahead and create an alert below, and then I'm also gonna remove this one. Let's see if we can get a trade in. So far, you know, everything's been pretty quiet. But I think you know, there's an opportunity for something here. I think one thing that, you know, especially when you're doing one of these small account challenges and you have a super limited number of trades and kind of everything has to be planned and timed out, it's really tempting to always want to trade every day. And the biggest thing about trading is like sometimes you shouldn't trade. So it's a bit of a mind-blowing experience sometimes. So here's NK again with that high of $3.60. This is where we bought it around 2.94, waiting for a bounce. Kind of got a little bounce, but not strong enough. And then, you know, we covered our position or closed our position right around here in this first bounce. Not really doing too much of anything. CEI, just the dollar volume is really what kind of constantly attracts me back to it. It's really making a lot of moves. But it's had a failed breakout, and I don't right now see this thing breaking back to new highs, but I think it could really have a nice dip. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Make sure microphone's good. So we've had about a 7-8% pullback on it so far. Not really that interesting. Buyers at 215, but if I was them, I'd be removing my buy order. This looks like the beginning of a falling knife here. Quickly check out PTI, not really moving too much in any positive direction. Just bounces are weak. Yeah, PTI was not really too interesting at all. I really like GV, but there's just such a small amount of volume here, and the spread's actually kind of large too. With our small position size, we could probably trade this one, but it's not really something that I want to be practicing trading. ASRT really sold off, huh? Quite an aggressive sell-off, but you got to say that this 1.3 area offers huge support, and right now it's definitely holding. But again, this thing has no news, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. There's just a bunch of stocks out here with no news and not really doing anything. Um, Here's an ONVO back to 0.554. Super interesting. I feel like this one, I'm trying to bounce off this area. Woo, just dipped below it. This could be a really interesting dip buy, to be honest. I'm going to keep a close eye on it. I got to say, I do find it very interesting. I'll check out EXPR in a second. CEI getting, keeps on going down. CEI just right into the area we're looking at. This thing could just be a big sell off the rest of the day. I think the big movements on it might be already over. I don't know. Very sketchy. I think any sort of dip buy on this one is only going to yield maybe 4% at best. Unless you're trading maybe the afternoon and it found a bottom and does like a 10% reversal, but then you're looking for a perfect entry and exit and you're trading the afternoon. But right now, I think, these quick dip buys, you could probably score around 3 or 4%, but you just got to remember there's definitely some nice risk involved as well. I would like to see this thing crash below $2, honestly. Really sell off quickly. I'll check out EXPR anyway, see what you're looking at. 338 million market cap, a little on the high side. Also, the float is relatively high as well. Don't see any news about this one. Yeah. Even the big moves on this still wouldn't really yield anything too interesting in terms of risk reward and just percentage moving. Okay, so CEI is finally moving a little faster in the direction we are looking at. Here we go. This could be the moment it breaks $2. So many sellers on this one. I generally like this one again, like I said before, and it's bouncing now, ONVO. Probably should have went for that bounce, but low volume. I'm going to keep focusing on CEI. Let's see if we're going to get that crack below $2. So this is one of those bounces I'm talking about, right? So, perfect bottom bounce and you're only up around 2.5%. That's really not moving the needle. We want those trades that, are moving much, much faster. And I don't know, I don't feel super comfortable or confident really with trading something that's just, a perfect entry and a perfect exit would only give you 2.5%. So fingers off the trigger for me on this one for now. A lot of buying coming up. This bounce is looking pretty good. So now, even now though, it's still 3%. If perfect top and bottom on this bounce trade, super sketchy if you ask me. I don't know. 20 minutes into the market open. So gap and go strategy is basically over. We're looking for pullbacks, reversals, things like that. NK not looking too good. Look at it. ONVO would have had another opportunity to trade this right here. Pulling back pretty aggressively though. Mostly big sellers here. Dip buy potential pretty nice though. I think if we had, let's say, unlimited trades today, I think I would have had one of the limit orders down here. But it's one of those things where you don't want to use your one trade and then not be able to trade anymore. What's this? MTNB. This was almost on our watch list this morning. Quite a nice bounce in this area, 7%. Really nice bounce. I think we're going to be following this one for at least another 20-30 minutes. Maybe, I don't know, maybe less, maybe who knows, it's super hard to say, but I'm waiting for a real dip on, oops, I'm not looking at the right one. Such a similar chart, but everything is selling off today, isn't it? Even though the markets are all up really nicely. Let's quickly go to, where was it, CEI again? So here's that bounce, 4.5% roughly. "37 minutes into the live stream. Let's do another, it's hard to say. Let's do another 13, 23 minutes, somewhere between that range, and see what we get. You know, we might get a nice trade. I'm gonna get ready for this phase 2. I'm gonna quickly, I'll be right back. All right, all right. Slow day, slow day. I'm trying to think right now. I'm trying to ask myself the question, is the volume working? It is working. No, the question I want to ask myself right now is, would I still be trading anything here if I, let's say, got a green trade today, not pre-market trade, or if I didn't get any trades pre-market? You know, would I still be actively looking at the market? And some part of me says no, because there's nothing really that nice happening right now. There's nothing really blowing me away, making me super excited. And then part of me says yes, because I'm like, CEI could be a really nice dip buy. If it doesn't break back above, 211, 212 soon, I think it might break under $2, and I would love to trade this thing as a bounce. So that's kind of how I feel at the current given moment. What's that? MIRM. Let me check it out. Andrew's coming in hot with all the announcements. MIRM. Oh yeah, this one looks good. Really, really nice. Big market cap, but tiny float. So I guess that's still fine. I wonder why this was not on my scanner. And you know what? I think I know why. Let me quickly go to scanner. Market cap 2 million. No, I don't have the max on it. It might be the shares. It might be due to the shares. But I don't know. Really nice. Good find on this one. I'm watching CEI out of the corner of my eye. This one, so it was halted earlier today. This thing's been halted. Conference call. So they got a lot of nice, good news out today. Kind of a general support range in this area. I'm just going to put a former high on here so we can remember where the former high was at the 15. Seems like that 14 area was big support as well. Really nice. This thing is ripping. I'm gonna have to figure out why this was not on my scanner. Nice call though. Here we go, ripping up to new highs right now. So this is the second pullback right now. So we have the first pullback here. We have the second pullback. Third pullbacks, I can't speak anymore. Third pullbacks get a little shaky. This would have been actually a really nice entry somewhere in this area. Even buying the breakout here would have been probably pretty nice. Pretty late in the day already, 30 minutes now, almost 30 minutes since the market opens, and this thing is still rallying up higher. It has really nice news, a lot of news too, always good. Check out the dollar volume, looking really nice. This is kind of exactly what we would be looking for usually. I'm gonna have to make a note here. I'm gonna look up through my scanner and try to figure out MIRM. Right off the back, I mean, it does look like it fits all my criterion, so I'm just a little confused. Uh-oh, looks like it was halted again. This thing's crazy. Definitely we're going to be keeping a close eye on it. Until then, we'll watch CEI a little bit longer. So it was just halted. So at 4:04, it's going to be back in action. So at 4:04, let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah, the fact that we are so limited on our trading is it makes me really not even want to trade pre-market, even though I really do want to trade pre-market, because that means we can't even trade the opening bell because we usually have that one trade a day. Ay, ay, ay. Once we get a bigger account size, I might look into increasing our trades from 9 to 12 by reallocating our position sizes. That would give me, yeah, I don't know, could allow me to do 2 trades a day. Yeah, it would. It's something to really think about. So this first sell-off was 14%. It's quite a nice sell-off. I don't see the 2 holding. I think this is a really solid bear flag here. So if we got something around the 13 range, 14 range, that's this area, 1.82, maybe 1.85. So probably by the end of the day, or at least by noon, we'll see some sort of support in this area of 1.8, but I don't see the bounce being like super significant. So one of our big issues is our profitable trades are right now around 4%, and that's because I do a lot of dip buying, and the dip buying, the bounces sometimes aren't that strong, right? And that's a big issue in terms of wanting to increase our percent gainers. ONVO is selling off pretty aggressively. We got another minute until MIRM opens up. I'm going to go ahead and create an alert here. Below. This should be unhalted any moment now. Well, I could tell you exactly about another 20 seconds. Well, see what kind of order we would even need for this. Yeah, okay, so around 80 shares at the 16. It's exactly where I wanted to put my limit order. Nice. Let's see if we can get like a little crash on this one, little dip back. This thing is breaking higher, but there could be a chance we're going to get a little support line bounce on this one as it moves higher. I really like the $16 zone as general support. These flyers, especially with such a small market cap, are just so quick. And I'm still not totally comfortable with buying breakouts. This thing's been holding above the EMA 15 very, very nicely. Really nice pullback here. So that's the first pullback, the second pullback. That's what we would have been looking for. So I really like those. Now, at this point, I kind of feel a little bit like I would be chasing. So don't feel as comfortable anymore. And that market cap is just growing. That's how you grow your market cap. You go exponential. There must be some shorts or something just absolutely getting destroyed with this thing. Here we go, reversal in the price. I know you guys are probably going to be making fun of me for using this thing. But looking for this former breakout zone as some potential support. Yeah, LMPX with the recent IPO, man, I completely missed that LMPX. We had, I think, one trade with it. Really nice, but was not our stock. CEI is still cracking lower and lower. Everything that we were looking at is not really too hot, so I'm pretty happy that we were pretty positive off the rest of the day. So far, any one of these pullbacks would have been really, really good. So if we wanted to do a third pullback, you kind of ignore this order down here. I just kind of have it there, just kind of as like a mental reminder. But so we have the first pullback, second pullback, third pullback, and so far all these pullbacks back to the EMA 15 would have been pretty good. So that would be around $19. Little sketchy in case this thing does get halted or something like that, but still pretty nice overall. Big green candles everywhere. CEI finally broke $2. This is what we were waiting for with CEI. Nice little crack here. Holding that $2 pretty well. Probably had this potential again to maybe squeeze out 40 bucks or something again, like 3-4% pretty quickly this time, but so 1.95 would have been the perfect bottom. Yeah, former breakout zone, really nice. To be honest, I expected this one to pull back a little bit lower, maybe even to, 9.4, 9.2, something like that. Pretty strong bounce. Really strong bounce, actually. MIRM is going for another run. Phew. NK getting completely destroyed. I'm so happy we got out of NK. MIRM basically just added another 10 million to its market cap. Big sellers kind of coming in here. Last time there was big sellers was on the second pullback. Could also turn green, still has a chance. Okay, so we're near the former breakout zone. Big support coming in here though. Our limit order is at 1790. A little bit above VWAP. Looking for that first pullback or big bounce. Good morning, George. I haven't looked at SNNA yet, although that has been one of our big watchers. Right now I have a potential order at 1790 with MIRM. Right now the price is at 1950, but it already had a failed break right here. So I'm looking for a little dip buy closer to VWAP, but ideally near this bigger support zone. Move my limit order down just a little bit more to find some bigger support in this area. Let's see, right now the price is at 1868. $18.7, $18.9, $18.8. Mid 18s now. I'm going to go down, move my limit order down a little bit more just to find a bit more support area. What I'm really looking for is this former breakout zone. So low 17s. That could be way too conservative. I definitely understand that. This thing is still rallying to the upside. And you know, there's a good chance it's going to be bouncing, especially here because we had this secondary breakout area. So I think this is a big zone for a potential first bounce. But again, you know, low float, big moves. I kind of want to find somewhere where I have a little bit more support underneath me. And this is already fairly aggressive position. CEI kind of back to here at 1.98. This thing's just been crashing all day. Good fun to watch though. Really interesting. Again, I'm not trying to blindly buy this. I'm just kind of putting limit orders so I can move it up and down when I'm ready. What I really like, where I find there's a lot of support, is definitely near this $16 area. That's where we had the big bounce. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see some, you know, pattern forming a little bit better, some better price action, something like that. So that's really what I'm looking for. You can see we had multiple touches off this, you know, low or high 15s, low 16s area. So if we could snag some sort of bounce trade in that area, I think it'd be phenomenal. That's really what I'm looking for. This thing could still completely run to the upside and completely get away from us. That's totally fine if that happens. We don't have to trade again today. But, you know, if the price does pull back really, really hard, I would like an entry around 16. Otherwise, I don't know if we'll probably won't trade this one. Having a nice little rounded bottom right here. Let's see what happens. I still can't believe that morning trade that really caught us on the wrong side. If you have not seen my rant about NK pre-market buy, check out the beginning of this live stream or subscribe so you get a notification. Hit that bell icon too so you get a notification when I make my recap video, because this recap video is going to be primarily focused on that pre-market trade, and I don't really regret it. I think, you know, there's a lot to learn from it, and I was technically right. I just had bad timing, which is really the stressful part. Actually, like, to me, it's like the only stressful part. It's like when you're right but you still mess up a trade. It's like, what? How did that happen? So we had the first 5-minute crash, and now we're having a little pullback. That first crash was 18%. Let's say we get another 18% crash or so, then we're right at the $16. So I'm going to be ready to go at the $16 if we get it. I don't know if we will, but this one's got the big dollar volume today. So almost $60 million traded on MIRM today. Really, really aggressive. So far, it looks like this third potential breakout was a failed breakout, and now we're pulling back. So this one might fit perfectly into our failed breakout strategy. I think my watch is getting mad at me. It keeps vibrating, telling me to move. Although I haven't really been standing here that long. Kind of feel like I'm moving a lot. Just shaking, stretching, twitching. Here we go. Here's a nice little crack. This thing is so much more fun to watch than CEI. What do you guys think? It's like way more fun to watch. If we got a potential entry at 16, let's just kind of... We could make this 80 again. If we get that dipped closer to 16, otherwise 80 is too much. We're just trying to be very conservative here. I'll check out SNNA and I'll check out LMPX, but I don't think I'm going to be trading any one of those. They have been on our watch list for quite some time. Be really nice to see at least, you know, one, ideally two big red candles. Yeah, my biggest issue with CEI, even though it could be a great pullback bounce trade at one point, is it's just not moving that much. So if I had unlimited trades, I probably would have done one trade on that one already, with the understanding that that trade is probably only going to be a 2% profit. But if I had $10,000 position size, you know, $200, you know, that's fine. Like that's pretty nice. But I only have one trade with my small account size, and it's not really worth it anymore for that. Very nice. I'll go ahead and check that one out. I hope you're able to capitalize on some of that one. I really like the market cap. I like a lot of stuff about this one. It wasn't on our gap scanner because it didn't make that many moves pre-market. And but this pullback right here is looking really good. And then we had a second pullback here, and that third pullback was very, very dangerous. Just moves so quick, really quick mover. Whew. Looks like MIRM is back above 18 or 19. I don't know. This thing could try to break out again without me, but I see more selling going on. We start off with big sell volume here, a lower high here, and then, I mean, this is looking a little shaky in this area. Let's see what happens. But, you know, we're getting pretty close. We're already now 55 minutes into the morning open. I don't know how much longer I personally want to trade for, but MIRM is giving us a potential opportunity for a pretty nice little bounce. So maybe I'll stick around a little bit longer, but We'll see. There's nothing wrong with just watching. Actually, that's the best thing to do. That's what I should have done this morning with my pre-market buy. That's what I did all last week. Just watched. I just watched the market, pre-market. Learned a lot, and then today somehow I was not able to capitalize on what I learned properly. I'm doing the dance. Even though it's not really moving right now, I mean, this little activity it's been having for the last few minutes here is almost 8%. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy indeed. I wouldn't feel too comfortable buying right now, though. Make sure everything is looking all right. CEI doing absolutely nothing fun. Guys, I cannot wait for another nice trade, but there is no need to rush it. I'm kind of asking myself, am I going to trade pre-market tomorrow? Maybe. There's a good chance that I might. I'm trying to think. What I really like about not trading pre-market is that we could all start trading together. But hey, I gotta get creative. I gotta, keep trying different things. But also, I need to keep focused on what I know works for me and what has been working well in December. So, I don't want to stray too far out. So, if I do a morning pre-market trade, then that's how it is. If I see a really good opportunity, I'm obviously going to jump on it. And then, you guys can always learn about it afterwards, unless maybe I like throw it in a chat room or something, but we'll see. I don't know. Here we go, guys. MIRM is making a little bit of movement. Some selling coming in. It's almost 4:30 now. Local time for me. We want to see a crash. Are we gonna get it? Here we go, little dipski. Right into the low 18. There's gonna definitely be some buyers sitting here trying to get this one. 19, back at 19. Still waiting for this crash. Right now, we are waiting for a crash of MIRM. Right now, it's around 1880. and it was at 22.43. So it already had quite a nice little dip, 17%. We're looking for another dip in that range. Let's say we get a dip of 15%. That would give us around a little above $16. So I would like to buy near 16.50, a dip, and then sell into the bounce. That's really what I'm looking for. I'm not sure if we're going to get it. There seems to be a lot of buyers on this one. I'm going to watch it for, I don't know, maybe another 5 to 10 minutes. If it breaks to the upside, I probably will stop watching it. Even though this is more of an upside, breaker, potential runner. I don't really feel comfortable right now trading it to the upside because it had such a nice rally this morning. And it's up 168%. And now it's kind of pulling back, making some sort of a little bit of a ascending channel, but more or less a bear flag ultimately right here. And I think the chance that it's going to continue to dip to the downside is I don't know, more high than not. So again, that's what I'm looking at. CEI bouncing back, 2.13, so never really dipped that hard. When it had that huge amount of buyers in this area at the $2, or when it didn't really crash down that hard, I think that could have been a good buy indicator because there was obviously a lot of buyers here, and all this selling pressure wasn't really that strong. So that could have been a really nice trade. So basically buying somewhere here, maybe at the 1.97, selling somewhere here near this former shoulder. 6-7% profit could have been pretty realistic, I would say. Pretty realistic. NK, the stock that we traded this morning pre-market, is now at 234. This thing got absolutely crushed. If we were holding it now, we'd be down like quite a bit, 25% or something like that. So good thing we cut our losses. That's why we cut our losses quickly. I wish we could have cut our losses even quicker, but those pre-market dips, guys, they are no joke. Got to be really careful with them. Five-minute EMA is actually pushing its way up right now. Here comes the first big push of selling pressure. Instantly getting bought into. A lot of pressure at the 19. Sometimes it's support, sometimes it's resistance. Oh, here we go. Buyers just came through heavy in one candle, 5%. I think this thing is going back to the upside. I was not entirely expecting that many buyers to shoot through just now. Yet again, my watch is yelling at me. Move. Let's see what happens. I'm going to give it a little bit longer. Probably will be wrapping up my day soon here. You know, this is much less of a bear flag now than it is just kind of a general kind of support, potentially even reversal, kind of finding some sort of bottom here. I don't know, maybe even a little bit of a rounded bottom, but I don't really see this thing breaking to the downside right now. A lot of buying kind of came in here. I don't know, we'll see. We'll watch a little bit better. It's just giant guessing game at this point. I would like for a clear pattern to form, either a breakdown and then buy near support, or in theory, if this thing breaks the upside and buy on a pullback, could be actually really interesting as well. I don't really feel like I want to do that so late in the day. So basically right now, putting a limit order in at 20, right? So let's just kind of walk this trade through in our heads. Putting a limit order in at 20, maybe 2010, something like that, 2020. Let's see if there would have been execution maybe. So who knows? That could have got filled. That could have maybe not got filled. You would have wanted to get a little bit more aggressive on this one. You'd be up 5% right now. Not too bad. Looking really good. Potential first pullback right now. This thing could break to all-time highs right now, or yeah, I think this actually would be all-time highs. It doesn't have that much further to go. Right now, 22.30, 22.13, 22. It's back at 21. Sorry, I kept saying 20, 22, 21.4. If you still had your limit order here at 20, there's probably a good chance you might get executed right now. That would have been a really okay trade. You know, you would have had to get a little bit more aggressive. I saw some at 2.3, so you could have possibly got an entry at the breakout at 2.3, or you bought the breakout with a market order, and if you sold near the highs, that's about a 7% return. Not a bad trade. I don't know. That would have been a pretty quick trade. I don't know how I feel about it. 20 to 20.6. This isn't looking very good because it's the sell-off is kind of just eating away at it. Breakout was nice though with big volume, so I think you definitely have to take that into consideration. Big chance on a secondary entry though, near the 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. When I mean 2, I mean 20 entry. Really interesting trade. I think this could be a phenomenal entry near the 20, and then try to trade a break past 22.4. Not really my thing, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put an alert here, just so I can watch this if it breaks to the upside. So I'm gonna go above. And then here, if we go back below 18.65, maybe I'll trade this later today, but at the moment, I don't plan on trading this breakout bounce. In terms of right now would be where I would be looking for a potential entry. Right now we're at 20.4, 20.39, 20.25. So right now would be where I would be looking for a potential entry for a break to the upside and a possible new all-time high. I think that's what I would probably be thinking about. Remember, big dollar volume on this one. So pretty interesting. I think that's what I'm going to be following for maybe another 30 minutes or so. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the live stream here. So thanks guys for tuning in. I keep looking at the wrong camera. Thanks guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this opening bell and watch list trading. Unfortunately, today was not that great of a day, but you know, we always learn something, and we are still doing pretty well. And yeah, you know, tomorrow's gonna be another day, and that's just, you know, how trading is. Sometimes you win some, you lose some. So you guys, I will see you again tomorrow. Hit that like button if you have not done so already, and make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell icon too to get the trading recap video of the day. Yeah, all right, guys, till next time. Ciao, ciao.